Cheers, and welcome to Fireside Philosophy on the Voluntary Virtues Network. I'm Steve, and I'm here today with Mike.
Hello.
Kevin.
You're right, but we don't use it as legal tender.
Yeah.
Legal tender is a specific that means that which is not backed necessarily by anything, but is legal to use. This is money. This is lawful money according to the Constitution, as opposed to say a certain purity and weight as specified in the Constitution.
That's what it
This
says.
is
Yeah.
not legal tender. We were distanced ourselves from legal tender, and they're not coin, because coin is silver pieces that are with specific markings from the government, and certain weight and purity are put into circulation as money. There are no coins in the United States.
So the key word.
There are no coins.
So
Because the U.S. mint pieces, 1 ounce pieces, they are not put into circulation as money. They say $1 on them.
So for those watching,
Well-
the key word is rounds, right? So you don't get yourself
Rounds,
rounds,
medallions,
circles, maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard of
It's
a.
not coin. Yeah.
Not
There
coin.
was a casino in Las Vegas. This is maybe 10 years ago now, who was paying their employees in gold coins
Nice.
and
Dun, dun, dun.
and putting on their IRS
Tax.
forms the printed dollar notation on the coin.
So they are charged with the face value that
Right.
it says rather than the monetary value in terms of
Exactly.
gold. Right?
Well, they got sued by the IRS.
Didn't they get screwed over?
Well, they
I
won the
remember.
case, actually.
Yes,
Because
yes.
they
I
couldn't
heard they
be-
won the case.
'cause determine at what point in all of these transactions do you say what the taxable value is. They hadn't made a determination.
Yeah.
And doesn't it say in the Constitution that that the Congress can say what the value is of the coin? And
Well, it says the pieces have to be a certain weight and pure. Okay, and we don't have any like that because the Liberty dollar did not have government marks on it,
Right.
so they weren't coins either, right?
right.
And what we use now for currency is not backed by anything. I mean, there's only about 3% of the cash in circulation
Yeah.
is actually dollar bills. The rest is just digits floating around in the
Yes.
ether. And then the things
It
that
has
the
a
U.S. is a
woman's
manufacturer.
face on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these things, and they had a so-called expert that came in and said, "Oh yes,
Sounds like
I knew it
silver
was
should
this."
have been something that's
Yeah.
dissimilar. They're not using silver anymore.
But the main reason why it is they went after us is not because of the counterfeiting. It was because I heard from when we had that big article in the paper after the U.S. Mint's warning that Liberty dollars were allegedly illegal, is that the local reporter in Asheville talked to the U.S. Mint spokesperson and asked them what's going on here, and she said, "Well, Liberty dollar, they say that there's $20 million in circulation. If there was just so if it's a small amount, it's legal, and if it's a lot, it's illegal."
And how much
By
is
their
a
own
lot?
admission.
And how
$14 months. That was nice. Dropped down from 45
Yeah.
years.
That's quite a drop right there. That's how they get you with their plea deals, though.
yeah,
I'd been in for 6 months, right? And I said, but I'd be lying. I never intentionally wanted to defraud anybody. And the police knew it. Subpoena them and have them come in and testify under penalty of perjury what I told them.
Well, right. Yeah,
Right?
like
well, that's just the thing, though.
And why did they not take any action? Don't they know what the laws are? And they check with the Secret Service,
yeah.
right?
And the damn county sheriff, like, you talk to him, and he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, okay, yeah, silver, got it, cool."
I asked him at
You
that
know,
time,
like,
so what happens when the economic situation of the people go down?
yeah.
Does crime go up? Oh, yes, there's a direct correlation. This is something that helps local. We keep money moving around here so that the local people benefit. He didn't have much to say about it. Anyway, so 2 months later, 6-month plea. I'd already been in for 8.
That's how you know you're doing good when they start lowering it. You're just like,
Yeah.
all right, gambling
6
for money. 6 months now. Let's keep going. Yeah.
But I'd still be lying. How do you know
yeah.
which way you're gonna go? Things are gonna go when you start lying, especially to the Matrix. you
So
know?
you've
Yeah.
been
Oh,
in for 8 and they offered you a 6?
Yeah.
How do you get that 2 months back? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, right. You gonna pay me for the months I'm
I
in
know.
here?
Do
No.
I get a couple grand for that or what?
And I would have had a felony, and they would have deported me
Oh,
back
yeah,
to
no.
Canada because I'm still Canadian,
Okay.
fighting for the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
So, so it took them another year before they spent another $75,000 just to put everything up on the cloud, right, on the internet, to make it put it into a searchable format. And they didn't have anything. It was all taken out of context. There was another undercover agent that was filming it, and if you parsed it out and took words from here or there, it might have crabbled it together to make some kind of accusation.
If
but
you
they
edited
didn't
it
have anything.
heavily and then played Scrabble with it, they would have had you, right? Yeah.
So then another few months go by and Bernard You can have a speedy trial. Here you go. Oh, but we can't give you the software in order to look at it. You're going to have to figure it out yourself, right? Runs out, and then the federal defender's offices run out of money, or it takes a long time. Meanwhile, the guy's sitting in jail all this time, and they're leaning on him to do a plea deal when they get a longer and longer record over time. You know, it's like, so how can we use that to turn it into something in our favor? Understanding more about law is just about looking up, reading Supreme Court decisions and looking up terms, knowing legal terms. And you can understand law that way. Start looking at it, okay? And what I'm doing now is I'm helping people understand how to read better. Because English, one of the important things about law is precision in language is fundamental to law.
Yep.
Entire cases can hinge on the meaning of a word, like is, right, Mr. Clinton? Right? And so...
How do you define thigh?
Yes, right. Or sex with that woman.
Only when it comes to the defense, though, not when it comes to the government. When it comes to the government, they say they can do whatever they want. That's the difference. It's precise when it comes to them coming at you. But when they're defending, no, they were right the whole time, every time.
Right. Well, so you can use some of that now. I've been helping people understand how to stand up to the banks, who are the real power brokers behind the corporations, behind the government, behind the media, education systems now, the medical, who provides and determines what the value of the money is. So if you know how to deal with the courts and with banks, we change the way we are going to be making our society. So, and then we can use this understanding to be precise amongst ourselves with kind communication, with owning our values and our things that are important to us, and saying so. So with the whole foreclosure issue, it's still, it has not stopped. They're still going rampant around the country. I'm helping people understand that they can ask the banks for certain papers and demand certain levels of evidence that they are not able to fulfill.
Yeah.
If you keep on going.
It's been transferred to so many different parties where you're like, hey, so where's the actual title to this property? And they're just like, they really don't know. Yeah.
Well, look up foreclosure fraud. 60 Minutes.
I've heard of banks foreclosing on homes that they didn't even own.
Yeah.
Or that somebody's paid off.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we got this confused with something and blah, blah, blah. And
oh, no, but even when it's pointed out, they're like, so what? A lot of times you have to report in order to... And that costs you lots of money.
Yeah, but a bank's like, we print this shit, so...
There was one smart lawyer who went in and was going to foreclose on the bank.
I heard about that, yeah.
And they said, what does he want? He wants a check for this money that they are owed. Then pay him. Because they were there with the sheriff.
Yeah.
They foreclosed. So this is something I've sent out to a lot of people in and around this area. I stand up to banks. You can too. Is your bank being honest and fair with you? Search YouTube. 60 Minutes News explains foreclosure fraud. It's a real eye-opener. No, I am not interested in buying your home or for you to sell or refinance it. You have better options. By understanding and acting on their consumer protections, people across the country are standing up to bank dishonesty. Time is of the essence in legal matters. Call me. All right?
Straight and to the point.
That's it. And what's happening is that people are realizing, wow, hey, I can use legal procedure for my benefit. And we can too, through, after a while, they get tired of it. There's a very interesting guy called Richard Cornforth who says, let's just file 1 million lawsuits. Let's clog up the courts.
Doug
Right?
Stanhope and the bank's idea is similar to that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Sure, and keep after them. But the problem right now is that it costs so much for an attorney to do this, even though you think it's right, that it's not worth your time and money to do that. If they'll even take it and don't flip over to the other side like any mercenary.
Right.
You have to get somebody who's knowledgeable and courageous, is willing to risk their bar license to stick up for you. And then come to our side and educate people about the law, and they'll be doing a whole lot better. Because their time is numbered also in terms of the Titanic sinking and people not trusting each other as far as the courts are concerned. We can establish other means